Hi second graders, it's Mrs. Ward again. Today we're going to continue talking and learning about writing. Yesterday your job was to gather your writing materials, your pencils, your colored pencils, and your pens that you're going to use along with whatever paper or journal pages you might use, and find a comfortable spot in your house where you're going to do your best writing. Where did you pick to do your best writing? I like to sit at a flat surface, so I picked my dining room table. I'm also in my office where I'm doing a lot of my videos, and that's a quiet spot where I'm not being distracted by my 3 boys who are doing lots of their own things in the house. Today our learning target is going to be to make a list of topics that you might want to write about. As a writer, it's important to have a lot of topics on hand in case you're stuck with what can I write about. Remember, at the beginning of the year, in the front of our journals, we brainstormed lots of different things that we could write about. We had an anchor chart in our classroom that helped us if we got stuck. It's important to think about those kinds of things. If we don't know what to write about, we can look at this topic chart and we can think about some things that we might want to write about that day. We'll keep our topic chart next to our writing materials and next to our writing spot so that if we ever do get stuck, we don't have to get distracted or get up from our spot. We can look at that topic chart and think about what can we write about today. So in our list of topics, we want to think about things that we like to do, things that you know a lot about, or things that you like. And thinking back to the beginning of the year, we thought about all the things together as second graders that we might like. So let's look at some of the things that I came up with. A lot of things that I'm thinking about right now are things that I'm doing at home. Some of the things I'm doing at home is watching baseball games on TV. I'm a big Nationals fan, and so I like to watch the classic games from last season when they were winning the World Series and the playoffs. Each day there's another game on TV. So my boys and I like to watch the Nationals. So I know a lot about baseball. I also like baseball, and I like the Nationals. So I'm watching the games. I know a lot about that sport, and I like it. I'm also watching a lot of movies. We're watching all the Marvel movies, the Disney movies on Disney Plus. So I could be writing about movies that I'm watching. Basketball, we got a new basketball set outside, a hoop, and so my boys and Mr. Ward have been playing basketball outside. Dog walking, bike riding, board games. My family and I have been playing Monopoly a lot together. Puzzles. I've been doing a lot of cooking and reading of books that I wasn't able to do when my boys were playing sports. So now I'm able to do a lot more of those recipes that I wanted to make for my boys. Like Easter Sunday, I made a lot of good recipes that my grandmother used to make. So maybe I might even write different recipes that I'm using down so I can remember it for later. And all those books that I've been wanting to read when my boys are playing sports, especially baseball, they take a lot of time, so I'm not able to do all the reading that I want to do during my quiet time. Distance learning and staying at home. This is a great time for us to start writing about this experience. It's kind of a time of history. This has never happened before. In my class, we were talking about how funny it might be to learn online. Well, here we are. We're doing it right now. So it's a great time to keep a diary or a journal about what's happening in the world, what's happening in our house. How is it different? How are we not able to find toilet paper? Or how do we have to stay inside, and when we see our neighbors, talk from far away? So think about how we're feeling about that. What are we doing each day? Those are some great ideas of things to write about. Thinking back to the beginning of second grade, we in my class made a list of holidays that we might celebrate or write about, like Halloween, if we celebrate Hanukkah or Christmas. Just recently, there's been Easter and Passover. So if you celebrate that with your family, you could write about it. Spring break is another holiday that you might write about. I just had my birthday over spring break, so I could write about my birthday. Also, I bet some of you are doing some video games, Minecraft. Maybe you're watching some superhero movies like I am, and you might know a lot about superheroes. Or Star Wars, maybe you know a lot about Star Wars or Pokemon. So think about writing a list of topics that you know a lot about, that you like a lot, and that you do a lot, and keep that list in your space where you're doing your writing. So if you ever get stuck, you can think about those kinds of things to write about. Okay, our next topic for today, our next writing target, is to think about all the kinds of writing we have learned in second grade, and we're going to pick one to write about. So let's think about all those kinds of writing that we've done. So on my chart right here, I have a list of all the kinds of writing that we've learned in second grade. So we've learned personal narratives. Those are stories from your life that's already happened, that you have a memory of, or that's happening right now. So that would be a good kind of story for the distance learning and the staying at home, for example. Nonfiction writing. So that might be where you're writing a lot about things you know a lot about. Poetry. Maybe you're going to write a poem about some of these topics. And then fiction stories. What kind of fiction stories that have a beginning, middle, and end, that have characters that could be real, or even magical creatures, fairies, or unicorns, or even superheroes in your stories. In the learning packet this week, there was on page 10 a page that talked about different kinds of stories that you might write. So writers make storybooks, real stories from your life, superhero stories, made up stories with magic, or realistic fiction stories with a character that could be real and a setting that could be real. So I want you to think about what topic are you going to write about and what kind of writing fits that topic best. So for example, if you're going to write about animals or dogs or cooking, that might be a nonfiction writing book. Maybe you're going to add some recipes and how-to. For my birthday, I just got a new crock pot and a new air fryer. So I could add some sections about how I might write those, how I might use those. Fiction stories. Maybe you're going to write a storybook with a beginning, middle, and end, and you want to write about superheroes or Star Wars with those characters as your main character. I know in my class really loves to write books, and so some of my class was in the middle of writing books. So maybe you can continue writing your series with the characters that you were choosing in March. And maybe you want to write a poem. Maybe you want to write a poem about staying at home or your family. I know I've been really appreciating this time at home, being able to spend with them and be outside. It's been such nice weather outside. So maybe thinking about a poem where you can remember these days together. And then personal narrative. Maybe you want to write about what you did on your birthday or what you did over spring break or how you're feeling right now, so that when you go back in time, you can look at this and remember how you were feeling and what you were doing. Remember, good writers think about how they can make the reader feel like they were there. So think about what kind of writing might fit your topic, and today you're going to go to your writing spot, you're going to get your writing materials, and you're going to make a list of topics, like I did, that you might write about if you get stuck. So things you like to do, things you know a lot about, and things you like. And you're going to first make that list with your writing materials and keep it in that spot so you'll always have it. Then you're going to pick the kind of writing that goes with the topic that you're going to choose today. So you're going to choose one of those topics, pick the kind of writing that matches it, and then get started on writing. I hope that you are challenging yourself with being able to stay in that spot, work on your stamina, keep writing, because like I tell my class, writers are never finished. They keep writing. If you want to choose a new spot from yesterday, maybe you're going to try a different spot in your house today. Maybe if you were laying on the carpet and that didn't quite work yesterday, maybe you're going to choose to sit at your kitchen table or a desk in your room and see if that's better. And then you're going to get started. Work on your writing stamina. Is this something that you can do for 30 minutes? If you tried 20 minutes yesterday, work on it for 30 minutes. See if you can keep writing. Either you're going to continue writing what you were writing yesterday or start something new today. So that's your assignment for today. Tomorrow when we meet together, we're going to be adding to our story and learning how writers are never finished. They can add details and make their writing more exciting. So I look forward to seeing you tomorrow and continuing our talk about writing. All right, have a great day.